7-year-old Mia hadn't spoken in 4 months. Not since she watched her dog die in the street. Her mother tried everything. Therapist, routines, silence, noise. Nothing reached her. So Diane drove her to Meadow Lane Animal Rescue on a gray Saturday morning. Not expecting anything, just desperate enough to try. Mia walked past every kennel without slowing. The shepherd with the wagging tail. The beagles curled together. The old hound who didn't bother opening his eyes. None of them mattered. They were almost at the end of the hallway when a shelter worker named Carol stepped out and blocked their path. "That last kennel," Carol said quietly. "The puppy inside, we don't let visitors near him. He's not ready." She didn't explain ready for what. Diane opened her mouth to turn around, to say another time, to protect her daughter from one more closed door. But Mia was already moving. She walked straight past Carol and stopped at the final kennel, half hidden in shadow, set back from the others. Inside, a small Dalmatian puppy sat in the far corner facing the wall. His ribs showed through his coat. His tail lay flat. He hadn't eaten properly in days. The staff called him Domino, but he never responded to it. He never responded to anything. Mia pressed both hands against the chain link. Domino didn't turn. For 30 seconds, nothing happened. Diane counted them in her head, ready to pull her daughter away, ready to leave this place and accept that some doors stay closed. Then Domino moved. Not gradually, not cautiously. He spun and slammed into the kennel door so hard the latch rattled. No barking, no growling. A sound broke from him. Low, broken, desperate. His paws clawed at the wire. His whole body trembled. His eyes locked onto Mia like she'd spoken his real name, the one nobody knew. Carol grabbed Diane's arm. "He's never done that. Not once. Not for anyone." Mia reached through the diamond gaps in the fence. Domino pushed his nose into her fingers. And Mia, who hadn't made a sound in 102 days, leaned her forehead against the cold metal and whispered, "I know." "Me too." Carol didn't move them to an interaction room. She made a call instead. Diane heard fragments. Medical hold not cleared. Liability forms. Then Carol hung up and looked at Mia, still with her face pressed to the kennel, Domino's nose still touching her fingers through the gaps. 8 days, Carol said. If he clears medical, if you pass home inspection, if 100 things go right. She paused. But I'll tell you something I shouldn't. 3 families have tried to meet him. He wouldn't turn around. Wouldn't acknowledge they existed. Her voice dropped. He waited for her. I don't know how he knew, but he waited. They didn't speak on the drive home. Diane kept glancing in the rearview mirror. Mia was staring out the window, but something had shifted in her face. The glass wall looked thinner somehow. 3 minutes from home, Mia said he was facing the wall because he was tired of watching doors open and close. He thought if he didn't look, it wouldn't hurt when they walked away. She said it simply, like she'd read it in a book, like she'd written it herself. The home visit happened on Wednesday. The vet clearance came Friday. But Thursday night, Carol called with a different voice. Domino had crashed that evening. Hypoglycemia. He was stable now, but Carol had to be honest, his body was fragile. The next episode could be worse. Diane looked at Mia, sitting on the floor of their living room, drawing pictures of spotted dogs she wouldn't show anyone. Tell me what you're not saying, Diane said into the phone. A pause. Some animals, they fight harder when they have something to fight for. And some, Carol stopped. I shouldn't promise anything, but if she wants to see him before the clearance comes through, if you want to risk that, meet me at the side entrance tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., before the shelter opens. No paperwork. Just see what happens. They came at dawn. Carol unlocked the back door and led them to a small medical room, not the adoption floor. Heat lamps hummed. Domino lay on a padded table wrapped in blankets, and 4-line in his small leg. He was awake. When Mia entered, he lifted his head. It was the first time Diane had seen him move with any strength at all. Mia didn't ask permission. She climbed onto a stool beside the table and placed her hand on his chest, right over his heart. It beat too fast, too light, like something trying to escape its cage. "He's scared he'll die before I can take him home," Mia said. Not a question. A statement. Carol looked at Diane with something like fear. "How does she?" "She knows," Diane said, sitting in the corner chair, suddenly exhausted. "She's known since she was 3 that things you love can disappear. She's an expert at it." Mia leaned down until her cheek touched Domino's spotted back. "Not this time," she whispered. She stayed there for 2 hours while the sky lightened outside and the shelter came alive with barking and footsteps and the ordinary chaos of morning. Domino's breathing steadied. His heart slowed to something normal. When the vet arrived at 8, she checked his vitals twice. "This doesn't make sense," she said. "Yesterday's numbers were." "Yesterday he didn't have her," Carol interrupted. "They took him home that afternoon." Carol signed the papers herself, writing "medical foster" in the margin, knowing it was a fiction they all needed. The first 3 weeks were fragile. Domino ate small amounts. He slept 16 hours a day. He followed Mia from room to room, not crowding her, just staying within sight. Mia talked to him, not to her mother, not to the therapists, not to the teachers who called with careful questions about her return to school. To Domino, she told him about Biscuit, about the ball rolling into the street, about holding his head in her lap and feeling him go still, about the silence that came after, how it started as shock and became habit and became armor. "I thought if I didn't say anything," she told Domino one evening, both of them on her bedroom floor, "then nothing else could hurt. But I was wrong. The hurt stayed. I just had to carry it alone." Domino licked her hand. She didn't flinch. The crisis came on a Tuesday, 3 weeks in. Diane found them at 2 a.m., but not because of noise, because of silence. Mia's bedroom door was open. The light was on. Mia sat on the floor fully dressed, Domino in her lap. His breathing was shallow. His eyes were closed. The foreport from his early days was gone. There was nothing to connect to, nothing to pump into him. Mia looked up at her mother. "He's leaving," she said. "No panic, just fact. He's trying to decide if it's okay." Diane reached for her phone, for the car keys, for anything that would let her do something. "Wait." Mia's voice stopped her. Mia bent over Domino, her mouth close to his ear, and spoke words Diane couldn't hear. She spoke for a long time. She spoke until her voice went rough. She spoke until Domino's breathing changed, still weak, still uncertain, but present. Choosing presence. Then Mia looked at her mother with an expression Diane hadn't seen in months. Not the faraway look, not the glass wall. "I told him he has to stay because I still need him," Mia said. "And I told him I'm finally ready to need things again." She paused. "That's scary, but I'm doing it anyway." Mia returned to school on a Monday in March. Not gradually, full days. She carried a backpack with a paw print patch. She kept Domino's photo in her desk. When children asked, she didn't look away. She told them about the kennel at the end of the hall, about the wall, about waiting. She told them that some broken things fit together in ways whole things can't. One afternoon in April, Mia came home to find Domino at the front door. Not waiting passively, sitting upright, tail moving. He'd gained weight. His coat shone. When he saw her, he made a sound, not the broken whimper from the shelter, but something fuller, something that had healed enough to hope. Mia sat on the step. He climbed into her lap, too big now, legs dangling. She laughed. Diane heard it through the kitchen window, a sound she'd forgotten, bright and sudden and completely Mia. She turned off the stove and stood still, listening to her daughter laugh in the April air, a dog too large for her lap trying to lick her face. Both of them alive and present and unafraid. That evening, Mia wrote the shelter's newsletter piece herself. Some animals and some people are broken in the same place. That's why they can find each other. But finding isn't the end. Staying is harder. We stayed. Carol still works at Meadow Lane. She keeps a photograph on her desk, blurry, taken from halfway down a hallway. A girl with braids, a puppy at the wire, 2 hands touching through the gaps. She shows it to new volunteers on their first day. She doesn't explain. She lets them look, then asks, "What do you think he was waiting for?" The answers vary. Love. Food. Rescue. Carol never corrects them, but she knows. He was waiting for someone who understood that facing the wall is sometimes the bravest thing you can do, and that turning around is the second bravest. Domino is 3 years old now. He still wakes Mia by licking her elbow every morning. And every Saturday they drive 12 minutes to Meadow Lane. Mia goes to the puppy room. She sits on the floor. She reads aloud to the ones who won't come to the front of their kennels. She never rushes them. She never forces anything. She just stays, because she knows what it means to be the one facing the wall. And she knows exactly what it costs to turn around. For anyone still facing the wall, someone is waiting.